my buddy Dinis up here. There he is.
Welcome, everyone. Hi, Elijah. Here. There he is.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
I like what you're wearing. That's
Thank
very
you.
cute.
Thank you. It's been a day. It's been a day in the BBCAN world.
I will say the timing has been weird.
Very weird.
First off, we're doing our live today, and then the announcement happens.
Yes.
And then on Twitter, not to make it about me, but I posted my last dailies watch.
Yeah.
Because it was the week that I was evicted, and I got to see all the talking behind my back, which was an experience.
Yeah.
And then now it's done. Now it's done.
It's
so
done.
What's the news, Janine? All
right. For
those
of you that don't know, Big Brother, and I'll read it. Let me pull it up here and I'll read it directly from Big Brother Canada. So as we know, in June is when networks do it's called upfronts, and they let everybody know the exciting program lineup for the fall and the new year and all that stuff. So Chorus did theirs in early June, and they said that Big Brother Canada was shelved. It's weird that they use the word shelved, because prior, when they did Big Brother Canada 5, they said hiatus. So I don't know if that was like a precursor to like what happened today. Like they knew it was going, so they said shelved as opposed to hiatus. Anyway,
I feel like they didn't want to say anything because they didn't know. There was maybe a little bit of hope.
There was a little bit, but I mean, there was all these little signs. Like we saw pictures of the backyard being torn down, whereas normally they just regurgitate the same house. They'll just decorate it and just keep going every year. So the fact that that came down was a little bit of a sign.
Arissa has been very quiet on socials. She has not posted anything until they did the announcement today, and then Arissa posted a really beautiful message.
I thought she was going to cry. She looked like she was on the verge of tears.
Didn't get that from her, but I just think she's so poised, and she has such a love
for this game and the community and all the people, and it's so apparent. And like whatever she does beyond Big Brother is going to be epic.
I wrote that on her page. I was like, you are the like backbone of Big Brother. You were such a huge part of it.
But we'll see. But she gives hope in her message. Like maybe someone will scoop it up, right? Okay, here's a message so I can read it to everyone. Yeah. So it says, to our BBCAN fam, it's the end of an era as we say goodbye after 12 incredible seasons. Season after season, each group of house guests delivered their own unique, dynamic, and iconic moments that we will never forget. But most of all, we are so thankful to have been able to go on this journey with you, the incredible Big Brother Canada fans. Thank you for 12 beautiful seasons.
And that, 12 seasons in Canada
is unheard of.
Unheard of. The fact that we made it a decade in, glorious. We got 12 more. I mean, it might have been something to do with the apostles, 12 apostles, last supper. Maybe there's a religious thing there.
Maybe.
But I know that you and I both are very thankful to be on at least what is foreseeably the last Big Brother Canada. For me, and not to jump ahead, I don't think it's over.
I don't think.
Okay. I'll ask you for your opinion right after I say mine, I guess. Sorry, is there anything else that you wanted to add?
I think we should talk about how we feel about this. For me, I feel like when they first announced the shelving of it, I found it it like helped me in my healing and moving on from everything, because I'm really trying to focus on not the outcome of how my experience was, but more so the process. And I got to check the box of a huge dream.
It didn't go the way, I had wanted it to go, but at the same time, I got to do it. Like I got to do something, and I got to, like, I still have moments where I was like, I was in that house. Like I got to experience that. I met all these like
incredible people, and like I got to do something that I just always wanted to do.
And
So
you went in, and this is no shade against anyone, you
yeah,
went in as fan. Like you didn't have, I mean, sometimes when the opportunity arises to be on a TV show, you take
yeah.
advantage of it, but you yourself didn't need that. You came in purely for the game. Like you were
I did.
fangirling about yourself being in the
Yeah.
game, like being a fan, and then it must have been out of body experience for you.
Yeah, it was very cool. And I think we've talked about this before. Actually, have we talked about like our like the whole process of getting cast? I don't even know if we can anymore. Like everything's up in the air, right? With it being gone.
I
Um,
say let's discuss it until a notice
that's it.
gets slipped.
I mean, if it gets out, if they come after us, whatever. It's done anyways.
I will chime in on what you said. I mentioned watching the dailies because for me, and I don't know for you, I didn't get a sense of closure from my experience.
Like
okay.
when I was cut, betrayed,
Yeah.
when I was cut so early, guys, everyone out there, like I'm not kidding. I didn't think that was real. I thought that's not the end of my story. And
Yeah.
making it and the experiences we had afterwards, just how quickly things get wrapped up for us leaving, I didn't get a sense of closure. And I don't know if it's because I'm a certain age and I have a lot of agency over the things in my life where I didn't have any agency
Yeah.
with what happened in that house regarding my eviction. So all this, the dailies were my
closure. And I finished with
Okay.
my week, and I knew everything that went behind my back that was said, and I loved all the gameplay. Like some of it was amazing, and some of the manipulation. But now, and I thought I had a sense of closure, which I thought I did.
Yeah.
But now the show is canceled. There are new emotions now, and now I feel like that closure is now reopened, and I just closed it. It's weird. So when you mentioned closure, that was the big thing for me. Like it was very important for me to have a sense of closure after this whole thing.
Yeah, yeah. I like what you said about the agency, about how we do have, you know, a lot of control over the things in our life, but we had zero control over what happened to us in that game.
Which is
And you just
like
kind
I
of
would
have
love
to
to know
give
a
into it.
younger person's impression about that, and maybe even ask Tola, Bailey, Anthony, the older people,
what their impressions are, because they're sort of in the middle. But yeah, if they had insecurity about their loss of agency in that game.
Yeah, that's a great question. Great question.
So yeah, 12 years. Do we? What was your journey like in the 12 years of Big Brother Canada existence?
Okay,
When
I
did you
can.
when did you first eye Big Brother?
Oh,
Canada or US?
US. I started, I think, season 8.
No, you're not old, Tola, but you are older. You need to acknowledge that. You're 41, my dude.
Yeah, I think I started season 8 for Big Brother US, and I remember working for MAC Cosmetics, and that'll come into play later. And there was a guy that I work with there. Shout out Jeremiah. Him and I were huge Big Brother fans, and we used to strategize as if we were going on the show. This is like even before Big Brother Canada was a thought. We would just talk about it, and we had like
we were just so obsessed. And then so as soon as Big Brother Canada was announced, I was like, I'm on it. I'm doing this. I had just come home from my honeymoon. My husband and I went to Peru, and we did this like adventure honeymoon. And I came home, and the your audition tapes were due the day I came home. So I literally did like a quick point and shoot. It was a horrible audition tape, but I had to submit something because that's how much I wanted it. Didn't get a call back, wasn't surprised because again, it was very lackluster. It was just like, hey, put me on the show. I love you guys. Ah! And then I had kids, so I wasn't able to apply. I was busy being a new mom. New mom. And then season 5 happened, and I was like, okay, my kids, I think I had just had my daughter. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to apply for season 6. And then they were like, oh, being put on hiatus. And I was like, no, I was one of those people like signing the petition, being
so like, are you the cause of this cancellation? If
why would it be
me? Because you did
before it got canceled or got hiatused, No, I'm kidding. Sorry, go on.
Yeah. And then so any Big Brother fan, Dan Giesling, I was like, okay, I'm going to, as soon as it got greenlit, like, oh no, season 6, it's coming back. I was like, I'm doing this right. I'm one of those people that I will
do my research, and I bought Dan Giesling's book. I listened to every single one of his podcasts about the casting process, what to say, what to do within your audition video, and I did everything to a T.
I got the call. I went all the way through to finals, and then I was cut. But I knew all along, like, I'm a very intuitive person, and I knew I wouldn't get it on my first try. I knew I had to go through the process once, see how it kind of goes, get a feel for it, and I knew exactly what to do the next year. So the next year comes along, I like blew it out of the water. I thought for sure I had it. This would have been season 7, so this was Anthony's season. I told this to Anthony. I was like, I was so close to being on your season. And I made it even further to finales, and then at the very end they cut me. They ended up, I think it was between me and do you remember, I forget her name, but she was the psychic that lied about her age. She said she was like 30.
Yes. Mama
K,
I think so, yeah.
Maybe. So it was between me and Mama K. Mama K won. Mama K got on, and then I was devastated. So I stopped applying. But women's intuition, I always knew I could picture myself walking through those doors, and like, to the point where the dress that I wore on premiere night, I bought that dress in 2021, and my husband's like, what the fuck is this dress for? I'm like, oh, it's for Big Brother. And he's like, you haven't applied for Big Brother in years. I'm like, yeah, I know, but just watch. I'm going to get on. And I didn't apply, and, ring, ring. They called me, and I was like, all right, let's do this.
Awesome.
Yeah. And how about your story, Dinis? I love your story. Your story is crazy too.
To meet you, and one of the first things I said was, I recognize you from somewhere.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And this is a funny story. So I didn't tell anyone that I do social media, that I'm on TV, all that stuff. And when we were on the rope challenge, into the pitfall, and we're on the ropes, Dinis is across from me, and he's like, "Is you from like the socials?" I was like, "No, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't."
But that was very innocent. Like, it wasn't me going, "Oh, I know you have a 1,000 million followers."
Like,
it was just like, I recognize you. I feel your energy, and I think it might have just been the Big Brother thirst that we both had.
It could have been. And then, yeah, you were the first person I pulled aside, and I was like, hey, let's keep it on the DL. And then I let you know.
Side question. We'll get back to my journey.
Yeah.
Side question. If you had stayed, I feel like you and I would have worked together. But how loyal would you have been with me? Would we keep it like low key, or would you really work with me?
And seeing everything out, being biased, seeing everything now, seeing how I was for the girls, seeing how maybe I was even on the outs and I was looking for people, would you have aligned, and would you have been loyal? How loyal would you have been?
I mean, there's so many what ifs, right? We play them on. I try not to do it because you can really downward spiral in all the what ifs. What if?
Be loyal to me? You wouldn't work with me?
No. I think I would have. I just, my issue, Dinis, is going back to the women's intuition. I second guess myself so much in that house
because you have way too much time to overthink everything. Had I actually listened to that little voice, I would have known things. And with you, I knew exactly what you were talking about. I knew exactly what you were thinking about, but you talk so cryptically to me. And the one thing that I asked everybody, I was like, when Anthony said those lies about me that I was targeting him, I went up to everyone. I was like, do you think I said this? Like, does this sound like something I would do? Everyone else said, no, it doesn't seem like you were that you would do that. Like, you've been very open that you're a super fan. That's a very rookie move to go after the person that's currently in power. Like, I just wouldn't do that. But you
You were the only person that said to me when I would be like, do you think I said this, Dinis? And you're like, well, I could see like how maybe you would have said something like, and so I was like, he's part of it. He's part of it. You picked his entourage. You were part of it. And I was like, I don't have Dinis. Like, I knew we could have worked together. And I said this to you. I was like, I get you. I get you
But
through
even
and through.
after seeing the show, you still think that of me, of Dinis the game player?
Still think
that you couldn't trust me, that I was with Anthony or that side, or whatever.
No, like obviously now watching the
but
show, like
that's
I know
what
that you
asking. Now that you've seen
now that
everything,
I've okay, so now you're saying in retrospect. I mean, there's so many things. I really wish that we had a solid talk. The talk that you had with Avery in the pink room, where she said, you know, Anthony wants this to happen. You're like, well, his game. You know, he already had his season. I was like, where was that? I needed a little sprinkling of that, and that would have been my oh my God, Hail Mary, let's talk about this. We can change the trajectory of this game.
I think we would have worked well. I think we would have worked very low key. I think we would have given each other information about each side. But in the end, I know, and again, it's great, that you would have been for the girls. And I would have lost. I knew that. The rumor was going around the house that there was a girls thing.
Yeah.
And so that was always in the back of my head. So whenever I spoke to a majority of the time with the girls, the women, I knew in the back of my head, don't trust it completely. So I couldn't tell you guys everything or speak as openly as I wanted to, because I knew
you were not going to be for me. I had to show you guys that I was supporting you without revealing my game, my stuff, the things I had or was trying to line up. And that was a majority of my game in retrospect, was just, I was being reactive to everything. And I was just trying to find a foothold into something there, which would have been, in retrospect, Vivek's HOH. If I just listened to him when he said, this is our HOH, I should have taken it. I should have worked with him. I should have been in his ear. Instead, I gave him too much I gave him agency. Like, I didn't want to be involved. That's yours. But you people who want to, and we've said this, people who want to read between the lines will see. And then once you know that, whatever I say, you'll always catch on to what I'm saying. But I couldn't trust anyone because you left, Donna left. And it was so hard to speak to anyone because I didn't know who the mole was, which ended up being Victoria.
Yeah.
But I knew I wanted to pick up mischiefs. And again, this is not shade. This is not subtext. But I would have liked to pick you up and put you in a group because I think you would have understood, you have to play your game for the bigger goal, the women's big sister. But you would have still appreciated my loyalty, at least to you and to that cause, to bring it as far as we could. And then in the end, like, to each his own, whatever happens. I think I was actually speaking about it today. I went on a walk with a friend, and I said something that you've said all the time. You've said, Dinis, I wish I yelled out to you, give me that. You know, I wish we had a conversation right before.
We should have really talked. And I just was so convinced you were on the guy's side, that there was a
lot
guy
of people
saying,
were, because Anthony, you would, at the beginning, you guys saw me talking.
You guys were
Anthony,
talking a lot.
But he was my entourage leader, and also I need to figure out his game.
I know the type of person he is. He's collecting people, so I need to be in there, in that mix. Even if I'm in the end not going to be part of that, I need to understand who is, and I did pick up on that. It is the hardest game.
It really is. And,
like you said, you are second guessing constantly, and constantly you get new information, new intuitions that you have to reflect on.
Yeah. And it's one of those things, like, I tried to go in there thinking, like, try and play this as if you're playing it for the second time. You have nothing to compare it to. Zero. I actually equate it to similar to childbirth. So, you know, like when I had my first child, everything was unknown. I had nothing to compare it to. And then once I got through it, I was like, okay, now I know what to do. Now I know what to expect. And then I had my daughter, secondly, and I just felt like I had a better grasp of it. I recovered so much better. And I feel like, okay, put me back in that house. I now know, like, trust those little moments. Actually, I met up with Aika at an event, and she said to me, she's like, when I went in the second time, she's like, I just said to myself, I'm going to trust my gut more. And I'm like, I would absolutely 1,000% do that as well. Like,
believe those little moments. Like, even when Spicy pulled me aside and told me everything, and everyone was like, why didn't you tell everybody her game? When she said, I was working with Anthony, but not anymore, all I kept thinking was, that doesn't make sense.
Why wouldn't you be working with him anymore? It's not like you guys had a big blowout. It's not like he did anything horrible. So I was like, something's here.
If I went
in, and someone I think just asked, and that's one of the questions, what would you do differently if you went back in? Yeah, I agree. For me, I would be more, not ruthless, but more assertive. I tried to hang back because I was trying to figure out the dynamics now that these all-stars are in.
This is not just newbies. I can't go in and be that leader or try to be that leader. That's already established. So what is my role? But the next time, when it happens, when it happens, no, you go in, you create that entourage, that group, first day.
Don't be
jack shit except for numbers.
Don't be connected to anyone. These are just players. Like I
talk about your life and coddle them and be, oh, we love each other, we know each other. Do whatever humans need to feel comfortable in a jail setting.
Do that. It's essentially jail. It's good jail, but it's jail.
It's jail. And then go back to my experience.
Yes.
My sister showed me, I don't even know why, but she showed me Big Brother US 5.
Okay.
Instantly. I don't know what it was. This is, I don't even know how many years ago. And I'm
a long time ago.
Much younger.
2005, right? Because it started in 2000?
Did it start in 2000?
I believe so. Yeah, I believe so.
So many moons ago.
Yeah.
Instantly attracted. And that was a great season. That was with the Cowboy and the Comus and the Five-Finger Plan and the invention of the backdoor plan. I think it was.
Was it? Okay.
I think it was Nokomis.
Do you think it would hold up now? Do you think if I revisited BBUS 5? Yeah?
Because, the old school BB is very different than new school BB. Old school BB was long-term alliances. You took a couple of weeks to figure each other out because, do I trust this person? I don't know enough about this person. It was a long-term. And I think because social media and, our ADHD, we have no attention span. And so it has to be instant gratification, instant connections.
Yeah.
Back then, it was not like that. Yeah. It took a long time for it to simmer. It would hold up because you would remember it. You would remember that time you get to know someone. And then just villains and good guys and the house being out of balance. And then the team that you want to win will win. And then they won't go back. But if you're going to go back, you have to watch season 6.
Is that the best?
That's the Janelle season.
Okay.
That is the epitome of old school Big Brother. I also like the seasons with Evil Dick.
I really liked Evil Dick too. I think that's the season that I started was Evil Dick. Yeah.
Controversial, but still.
Yeah.
He was a good player. TV. He was good TV. So I began there and dying for Canada to come. First season it came, I think it was at the Metro Convention Center downtown. Huge lineups to do the auditions. I auditioned in person, I think, for the first 6 years.
Wow.
First 5.
Oh.
If you go on my Instagram, there are posts with me and my number, like 623, and just in like, I wonder if we could post our audition tapes now.
I was thinking about that today. I was like, I should probably pull out the archives because I have all of them.
I have a lot.
Yeah.
So then after in person, I read Dan Giesling's book as well. Listened to his podcast. It's weird that we both did that. And one of the things that really stood out to me about the audition process was he mentioned doing a video, you have more control over the environment and what you want to present.
Yeah, he was always very pro video versus in-person
because
audition.
in person, you don't know the dynamics of the group that you're with. You don't know if the person interviewing you is having a good day or a bad day.
Yeah.
They might not like the color teal, and you're already gone.
You're wearing teal. Yeah.
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 So 100% I believe in video. Now it's all video, which is perfect. I did that.
So we have 12 seasons. I auditioned for 10 of those 12. There's 1 year I couldn't because we just bought a house and I couldn't afford leaving.
Yeah.
Or else the house would not be affordable. There was 1 year I didn't, like you, I didn't feel it.
What year was that?
I think around 6, 7.
Right.
I did not feel like going in.
Yeah.
And then for season 8, the cursed year, I was actually supposed to be on that season. I was in sequester.
Wild.
I was pulled out of sequester because of high blood pressure, which I didn't even know about.
You didn't even know you had it.
So literally, Big Brother changed my life.
Yeah.
Because after that, I lost weight. I went on the medication, tried out for 9, 10, 11, made it to finals 2 of those times, and then
got cut at the last minute.
Yeah.
And those were heartbreaking years. But season 12, for some reason, just stood out. And even season 12, I applied, knew I was going to get in, knew I was going to get in, made it to finals. And then at the end of the year, they called and said, sorry, you didn't
feeling it. Yeah.
But then
a month later, they called back.
What a trip.
And said, are you still interested? At first,
put me on the show already.
At first, I said no. But, and that has been it has been a roller coaster of emotions. Watching each year, I mean, I'm still a fan, but watching each year and knowing like I could be there. But this is my story. The way it happened, that's totally my story. And I feel like it's going to continue the same way I feel like your story is not done. Whatever you need to do, I feel like we're going to see you out there. We're going to see me out there. But both of our journeys have been from fan love. Like, we did it. I feel so bad that other people won't get the opportunity to go and try out for it.
I really feel for them too,
That being said, I feel one of two things.
What's that?
Big Brother will come back. It will.
Big Brother Canada?
Big Brother Canada will come back. Or Big Brother North America. I don't know what they would call it. One of two things will happen. One, they will bring back the live feeds and it will become that social experiment again. They will do that. It won't be maybe global, maybe a smaller channel, maybe a paid thing that you watch through Netflix or Crave.
Yeah, I picture a platform picking it up. Netflix, Crave, Prime. It would do. It just needs more. It just needs more eyeballs. It is such a fantastic production. I mean, Rachel Riley was going on about it today. She's like, it's my favorite of the franchise of Big Brother, and she probably watches all of them. I think just more eyes need to be on it. The production value of the challenges are unreal. Like Midnight Massacre, everything was just the executive veto. Like everything was just so mind blowing.
This year was ramped up. I feel, holy crap, it was great. And then with the live feeds, you get to know the cast, because I feel like the cast has always been solid. Like, we've had great cast, but we just didn't get a chance to see each other and the way we interact with each other as humans, not just gamers, but as humans. Which leads me to my second iteration of Big Brother. It'll be like something like reindeer games, where it won't be live feeds and it's just competitions.
Yeah, I would love that. You know how I feel about the competitions. I just love the competitions. Like, if we could just do like friendly competitions all the time.
Like, not really living in the house and that social experiment. It's just a reality game show, which I think all reality shows end up being anyways. They skew that way. All the reality shows are just game shows now.
Yeah.
With some drama sprinkled throughout the entire experience. So those are the two things: live feeds, but hardcore and go back to basics, or distill it into just a reality game show.
Just a reality game show. I like either of those. I think those would do very well.
And you and I, one of the questions.
Yes, but we can get into some of the questions that people asked.
Would we go back? Would you go back? And I think both of us 100% would go back in.
Speak for yourself, Dinis.
You wouldn't go back if it was just the competitions and not the social play.
Competitions? I came out of that house though, and the first thing I said to my husband, I was like, do not allow me to ever go back in that house again. Like, and I knew I would romanticize it, 3 months, 6 months, and be like, well, maybe I could do it again. But I just don't think I could do it again. Yeah, without saying too much about how I was afterwards, I was not okay. Like human beings.
Even knowing, like you just said, that your second child was easier. Even knowing the dynamics of it, you could totally navigate that. Now that you understand really how to be ruthless or how to go about it socially.
Yeah.
It is.
I think
for me, it's the time. It's a lot of time.
It's a commitment. I have a family. And also I think it's the ageism thing that both you and I experienced, is that Big Brother is catered to a younger crowd and the older players are usually targeted first. And we were. So,
and even not even targeted consciously, it's just it's hard to relate, and so we might distance ourselves, or we are so self-aware about our social battery that we'll hang back and recharge, or we'll take care of the food, or we'll go clean, like we'll do these other things that is part of our day-to-day life that we're used to, that makes us feel comfortable and centers us. And I think that removes us from intense gameplay.
Yeah. Dinis and I have talked about, how they did Golden Bachelor. Like, they need to do a Golden Big Brother Canada. Everyone is 40 plus.
But imagine like a season of 40 plus, like it would be different. It wouldn't be this. I don't know if we would act freer, or it would be like a networking party and everyone is small talking. What is your plan for the future?
Yeah.
Would it be as energetic?
We wouldn't have the same energy if there wasn't the young kids in there.
I mean, I never really felt distant. Like I have always said about all the other seasons for the older people, get in there, get in the mix. There are a lot of people who won't know pop culture references, but you have your own, and your enthusiasm is infectious and will get them going. So I never felt it that way. It was just at the end of the night, I want to go to bed. I don't want to go to the room and hang out. I'm tired. It's hard for me to sleep. And I also get up in the middle of the night to pee 1,000,000 times.
Yeah.
So
and nighttime peers represent.
So it's ageism, but it's an unconscious ageism. It's just we remove ourselves, and then people see that and
like, okay, we can't worry about them. We got to focus on our thing. But I will say, in some instances, there is ageism.
Yeah, for sure. And there was references that I was like, I found they referenced SpongeBob SquarePants a lot.
Really?
Did you not find that?
I've never seen, I know what it is, I've never seen.
I feel like Kayla and Avery were like constantly quoting SpongeBob SquarePants. I was like, I've never watched a single episode of that ever. I feel like my kids watch that.
I should have sat around and been like, I don't know what TV shows. Oh, 90210, or do you remember Read All About It on TV Ontario, or Polka Dot Door? Do you remember Read All About It?
Of course I do.
Or Dear Aunt Agnes.
Oh my gosh, all the things. Mr. Dress Up, he was my jam.
Oh, that was so awesome.
Yeah.
Do you have any questions there from Love the Audience?
Yes, I have some. Okay, Elijah's here. Goose is in the chat. So is Spicy. I saw Lexus is here. Matt is here. So shout out fellow 12ers.
Hey everyone.
Hi,
from
everyone.
BBCAN 12. We finished it. We closed it.
is from Goose himself. He said, "What's your favorite Goose memory?"
Oh, I'm sure I've mentioned this before.
So in Sequester, I was reading a Stephen King collection, and there was a guy who had OCD, and through his OCD, he believed he was saving the world.
Okay.
So
he had to touch certain things and do certain things to keep the monsters at bay.
Yeah.
And so when Elijah, a little known, I'm sure it was on the feeds or
on the episodes, Elijah would knock on the doors constantly.
Yeah, that was my favorite Goose memory.
His
The
politeness
knock on the
to
door.
knock on the doors before he entered. And I
Yeah.
kept wondering, like, why is he knocking even if he just left, he'll knock knowing who's already in there. And in my head, my imaginative effed up brain, like, he has OCD and he's trying to protect us from the monsters coming in. So my favorite memory is that of Goose because it spurred my imagination to think of these weird things.
I love that. That's actually mine too. Was Goose knocking? It's just such a. It just goes to show what a genuine human being he was. It's like it was like a respectful thing. Like it kind of was like the house was like a free for all. Like go into whatever room you want, whatever door.
But he was like, "No,
he was always he'd do a little, and he'd come on, and he's like, "Cool to come in, cool to come in." It was really cute. So that's my.
I think the downfall, though, if he knocks
on the door, you could change the conversation if you were talking about him.
Yeah, we didn't have to talk about skincare. So the girls had this thing where we would talk about skincare if any of the guys came in. So we'd be talking like, "Oh yeah, big sisters," and then a guy would come in and be like, "Oh, I need to put some retinol on this tonight. I gotta get the exfoliating going."
I didn't catch on to the skincare, but it was the hot chocolate. Like if I look
the
back,
hot chocolate was
they are
was
always
quite a bit.
drinking hot
chocolate.
Hot
Why didn't I go in?
Yeah. Okay, I like this question. Who should have won, Anthony or Bay? Don't be biased.
Who wants to answer first?
I'll go first. I think Bailey won,
and she won. Like her story arc is what I wished mine was. Had I won that power of veto, had you saved me with your power of veto, had I continued on in the game, like her story is beautiful.
It was such a beautiful win. She was targeted, and then the demise of Donna and myself made Hot Chocolate realize, oh crap, we can't afford to lose Bailey. We need to keep her around. And then Hot Chocolate started attacking itself, and then Bailey kind of went behind. And then all of a sudden not that Bailey didn't have a voice in the beginning. Bailey's Bailey. She's got a big voice. She's a big personality. She just really started to come into her own in terms of when she was pulling Spicy aside and saying, no, you got to do this and this and this, or don't put up this person because they're going to vote me out with the executive veto. So she just became such a force. And I just love her story. I love the way the story went because I was like, she's a sitting duck. Like even when her girlfriend saw her at the Wendy's window and was like, I thought you were a goner. We all thought she was a goner. I was like, there is no way she's gonna make it.
She was at least top 3 target consistently for the first month.
Yeah, she was. Yeah. So I think she deserves it. I think Anthony's downfall, and Spicy's in the chat, I think the way he handled Spicy was completely wrong. Like the way he approached Spicy ruined his game in my eyes. All he needed to do is, if he pulled her aside and said, Spice, I can't win against you. I respect you so much as a player. You've been playing. I thought Spicy was playing a fantastic game. I thought she could have won it. I was rooting for her at one point. I think if he handled it gingerly as a friend, just being like, babe, I gotta do this. I gotta cut you now. Things would have been very different for him. But I don't know why he chose to do that. And then taking Bailey instead of Lexus, he just had a wrong read on the second portion of the game. I think he really had a strong read in the beginning of knowing to target myself, knowing to target you. And then in the second half, he just started to fumble and he lost the game because of that.
Mm-hmm. It's hard. I'm not biased, but this is hard for me because I really just on second watching the dailies appreciate
how Anthony was able to manipulate, dissect information, and use that
information, manipulate it, and curate it to each individual person's emotional needs and what they needed to hear. I loved
that. His assets are people who give him information.
Mm-hmm. And as he was getting to the end, he was losing those assets.
He was.
So that's why I feel like his game was faltering, because he didn't have that information anymore to propel him. He also didn't have anyone in front of him. Anthony knew that he was the center of something, and he had all these shields around him. And once those people started to go, he was exposed.
Yeah.
And so he needed to hold on to things that were disappearing. That is both his strength and his weakness. And like he's always said,
it's the loyalty, it's the people. And that's also something I professed in the house. Like, Anthony needs people around him. If you take people away from him, he is nothing. He doesn't have anything. But with what he had in that house, I loved the way he did it. It is insane to me that he could take
my best friend in the house and turn him against me. That is masterful.
Yeah.
Masterful.
His honey tongue was honeying.
He was cooking. He was cooking.
I say all that. Yeah, he was cooking. I say all that. But I'm going to say this. Anthony does not operate in a vacuum. So if it was any other cast, it might have been different. But with this cast, it worked. Mm-hmm. It worked on his season to a point. I wish he had learned
lessons from his season to bring into this new season, where yes, you can big up people, you can be loyal to them, you can profess this thing, but once in a while you do have to stick out your neck for these people that you're with.
Yep.
And I feel like Anthony really didn't stick out his neck for anyone. And so they would reflect on that and go, wait a minute, he professed all this stuff, he made me feel a type of way, but his actions didn't dictate any of that.
Yeah.
And I think that's where he lost people. With the Pretty Boys, he had them. That was a cohesive group. He didn't have that here. He had people that were giving him information, giving him the things that he needed, but he didn't have that
core group backing him up.
So I'm stuck. I appreciate his game up until the end, and then where he should have pivot, he didn't. And that's where I give Bailey all the props, because as soon as, like you said, lost Donna, she went, Anthony's in the middle of this. I need to fucking get in good graces with this guy. And she did immediately. Even I even went to her and said, what are you doing?
This is the person for the long term. Like, we're gonna get rid of him. She's like, I can't.
Yeah.
I can't. This is the linchpin. This is the person, the center of it. I need to get.
She
worked it. Worked
yes.
it.
She
spoke to him the way I wish all of us spoke to him. I'm not trying to
boast me. I feel like if Bailey wasn't there, I would have been the Bailey to talk to Anthony that way. We were just starting. And there's 1 week where him and I separated because I felt like he was getting the stuff he needed from someone else. And that someone else was Bailey. Mm-hmm. So
Bailey pivoted, adapted, and that is the biggest thing in Big Brother. And I have to, yes, Andrew, pivot. I have to give her props to that, because she adjusted and changed. Anthony didn't. He's great at what he does, but he didn't adapt to the game. Mm-hmm. And like you said, with bringing Lexus to the end, because in his mind,
I can't bring hot chocolate because hot chocolate's in the jury and vote for her. Mm-hmm. He should have adapted. He should have realized that wasn't the case. He should have realized how many conversations the girls were having without Lexus.
Yeah, yeah.
So in the end, after that long diatribe,
it is to Bailey because she adapted.
Yeah.
Great this is not knocking Anthony's skills, because he is goats, honestly.
No, he is. But with Anthony, he has his game is proven to get him to the finals, but his game is not a winning game. It's very,
depends on the.
I said this on Twitter and people were like backlashing on me, but I said he's kind of like the Russell Hans of Survivor, but not in terms of like personality or his gameplay. Completely different gameplay.
Yeah.
But Russell Hans plays a game to get him to the end, but he will never win.
He will never win over that jury. And I feel Anthony is the same way. He knows exactly what he needs to do to maneuver through that game to get him to finals. But when it comes to convincing a jury, he doesn't have it in him.
Or a jury
that feels burned. Like, I mean, he wouldn't be able to know this, but the jury did feel burned. Yes, I'm going to claim that. They felt a type of way, and he needed to acknowledge that and own it, and then somehow use that, which I think if he was onto it, he would have easily manipulated that information and used it to make them feel a type of way about him, about his game.
Yeah, and he knew he had to do jury management because he didn't do that first time, but he thought jury management was in the goodbye messages, I'll just say really nice things to you. There is so much more involved with jury management. It's the way you're treated while you're still in the house. It's, the information that goes back with the other jury members as they slowly come in. So that's why I think like the way he handled Spicy was just all shades of wrong. That was his downfall, the way he handled Spicy. And we all know Spicy, like she's called Spicy for a reason. She's not going to go into the jury house and be like, oh, you know what? Anthony got me, let's vote for him though, because he played the best game. No, she's going to go in there fiery, hot, say all the things and say, absolutely no one vote for that guy. Like he did me wrong.
Do you think she would have had an easier time? And Spicy, answer this if you want, if you're still in the room.
Yeah.
She would have had an easier time if someone else got her out instead of Anthony.
Like from my perspective, I would say yes. I feel like if it was anyone else got Spicy out, she would have been all for Anthony. She would have been all for him. But it was also the biggest move for one of them to go after one another, right? So
I honestly think that Spicy would never go after him directly.
I don't think she was going to. I think she was really loyal to him right to the end. She wanted to go all the way to the end.
She felt as raw as she was. But they were both great players in their own way.
In this social experiment, Big Brother.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. I will give props to them. I might feel a type of way about it, but their gameplay was perfect for Big Brother Canada, the TV show.
It was. Okay, one more question, and then we'll do our special announcement that we told everybody
are we
to do.
done in like 10 minutes? Oh my God.
Yeah, I know. It went by so fast. I was like, it'll be like half an hour. No, we're already at 50 minutes.
Before you do that, I just want to say, because people are asking, we already talked about Big Brother Canada being canceled. I'm sure this video will be up on YouTube if someone wants to check it out, if everyone wants to check it out tomorrow, but we've already talked about that. What's the question?
Yes. Would the two of you do a BBUS if they ever requested? I know your answer. Don't even think about it.
No, it's different though because of what happens after Big Brother in
the US, because you are more exposed to people. In Canada, you can kind of sort of disappear, but I think there'd be
backlash. And
it's a whole other beast. Yeah.
Like, so you don't know. So I want to say yes, but I'm hesitant. Just because of repercussions.
It's a whole other beast.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
Would you? You'd fucking cook in all those competitions. You'd school them in those comps.
Especially because they're recycled. Exactly what's coming for you. Like
exactly.
Big Brother Canada,
you never know.
Crapshoot. You have no idea. Whereas that, I'm like, all right. Yeah. I'll say yes. I'll say yes. I'll do it. Okay. I'll do it.
You know what? You would come back. You would come back as an all-star, and so maybe the whole process, the thing that we hated, without mentioning it, the process and the waiting and the time, I don't think would be as drastic if we were to come back.
That's true. And I would just, everybody loves a second chance and an opportunity. Like, I just felt like I just never even really got a chance to play this game that I love so much. So
would do
how,
it. And to
how
make a
would
daily
you how
chant.
would you have aligned with Tola? Sorry, not aligned. How would you have interacted with Tola, Matt, Goose? Yeah, because because with the girls, you guys already had a bond. You and I had a bond. You and Anthony had something. These are the three guys that I didn't see you really talking to.
Yeah, they were the ones that at least I actually really liked the talk
That I had with Matt afterwards, but when I already knew I was going home, Power of Veto was already done.
Yeah.
He apologized to me. He's like, I'm really sorry.
he's like he's like I kind of kept my distance from you because he's like I actually wanted to work with you, but as you became the target,
Yeah.
I just kind of backed away because he had potential of going up as well because he was on Spicy's entourage. So I totally got that, but I really appreciated that he, acknowledged that. And I thought that was really nice that he apologized. I really liked him as a person. Like we did our workouts every day. We could have like all the would haves, could haves. Goose and I had lots of, I felt like we had really good, personal talks, but it never really went to game. And like we would do walks around the house and then Tola, I mean, Tola and I just like we just spoke different languages. That's all it came down to. We just spoke different languages, and it's very unfortunate because our timelines are very similar. We both got married 12 years ago. We both have a 10-year-old. Uh, yeah, like I don't know. We just spoke different languages. Like
I think
he would play games, and then I would like even when I played. Remember when I would be introducing Mafia to everybody,
And he'd be sitting there, he's like, I don't even know what game I'm playing right now. Like he had no idea. And his wife said something to me.
she's like white people stuff he doesn't get, and I was like, okay. He's like I think that's white. No,
like
and
crab
like
dinner, Mash,
yeah, like
Tim Hortons.
she's just like me. She's like blonde, gorgeous girl, and she's just like he doesn't get stuff sometimes. And I was like,
I can see that now.
Yeah.
Like I can see that. Like we just didn't speak the same language.
I think in the end you guys would have
I think we
bonded.
would, and I saw that
happen in the house. Like I saw, like he was kind of that odd man out at first. He was kind of just like sketchy in the house and not really like fitting in. But then I saw
everybody really like, warm up to him, and like the relationships were really great in the end. So had I had more time in the house, for sure, I'm sure there would have been a really
good bond there. It just we didn't have the time to foster that.
Yeah, I totally see you and
Yeah.
Tola bonding. That leads me to this question.
Yes.
Who do you keep in touch with? And it doesn't have to be this season. Any other season as well, because the alumni, let me tell you, everyone in the room, BBCAN alumni is amazing. They will reach out.
Are amazing.
As much as we are fan people and we can't believe that they're coming up to talk to us, they are very nice and very
yes. I do have to say the 11s. So John Michael, Daniel C,
Shania, Dan S. I think I said the main ones. Yeah. The 11s were really
important in our debriefing and being there for us. And still to this day, I'll shoot them a question like, hey, how do you feel about this? Or do you think I should do this? Like they've been so great.
And the weird thing is they're so
close. Like they understand. They're closer to us because we've replaced them.
Yes.
And the weird thing is we have no one that will replace us. Like that house is gone.
We can't be the mentors for the next group of people, which is so wild that it's done. Daniel C's there and giving us some
Hey Daniel.
Hi,
yeah,
Daniel.
We won't have, like, I won't be reaching out to the next Dinis character.
Yeah.
Like,
I have to give a shout out to Jay. Jay was also Jay from season 10. 10? Yeah, 10. They were also really great. And even not to me, like to me personally, but to my family, like they went up to my sisters and was like, if Janine, if you're sitting there and you're talking about something and then all of a sudden Janine's like, oh, big brother, like have her call me, because that's the way our lives are for the rest of our lives. You just, Big Brother's kind of always there in our psyche, and it'll just like, or just sometimes it just comes out, like you're not even talking about it, and then it comes out, and then your family looks at you like, what, where did this come from? So yeah, they were really great with that. So shout out Jay.
We have 4 minutes.
We have 4 minutes. Okay.
Yes.
Should we do our announcement?
Let's do our announcement.
Okay, we need to just get off camera for a moment. Please hold. BRB.
Yeah, you go off screen, okay, and people can look at me. I keep in touch with basically the same people that Janine spoke. Elijah and I hung out once. We're going to continue hanging out. Bailey and I, Anthony and I. I want to go out to Ottawa to see Tola.
Oh, nice.
Because I need to see this trailer that he has built or put together. Anyways, he's an outdoorsy guy, and I want to go hang out with him and have him put me on a ski board or something.
Okay.
And there we go.
All right.
Oh, ready? You have a lot. I have nothing.
No, I'm just off to the side. Okay, ready? Okay.
Yeah.
We're getting ready.
So the announcement.
Oh, here we go.
Where are you?
Oh, cool. I lost my fan. I thought I had it. I made this for my daughter, for her. She had a pride walk at her school on Monday. She wanted like this cool head thing made.
I love it.
Yeah.
So what's our announcement, Janine?
Our announcement is I have been invited in the Pride Parade in Toronto this coming Sunday. We are proudly going to be walking with MAC Cosmetics. So we're so excited. So if you are at the Toronto Pride Parade, so if you're at the Toronto Pride Parade, blow us kisses, give us waves. We'll try and come and say hi. We'll try and make your day. And, we're so excited. MAC Cosmetics is a company that I love. It's been a big part of my journey as a makeup artist. And what I love about them is they aren't a rainbow wash company. They don't just do Pride Month. They are 24/7. We're going to be celebrating their Viva Glam program, which is a lipstick that gives back to certain communities very much involved with the LGBTQ+ community. So I'm so excited. It's going to be so fun. Hopefully there's good weather because it's a long.
It is.
Long
Sunday
walk.
is promised to be good weather.
Oh, is it?
Saturday is rainy.
Okay, good.
Sunday
I haven't checked
yet. It's promised to be great weather. Is this going to be your first parade you're walking?
No, I actually walked with Mac. It's got to be over 20 years ago.
We have 1 minute.
Over 20 years ago, we walked. I walked with them. So,
how about you? Have you done the Pride Parade before?
This will be my official time walking. I've DJ'd some floats a couple times.
Yeah.
But this will be my first walking. I hope to see everyone there. We will be there. Blue hair, Janine with her blonde bob, maybe.
But we are so excited to see you all there. Come out, support, have fun, and celebrate who you are with Mac and us.
Yeah.
I'm so happy. Thank you very much for the invite, by the way.
Yes, my pleasure. You're the first person top of my mind. I was like, Dinis is coming with me. We're going to do this. We're going to, have the best time ever.
Are we going to get cut off? Oh my God.
Yeah, it's got to be.
It'll give us
it's good
time though. Thank you everyone for coming.
Thank you so much.
Follow Janine and I on all the socials. Janine, what's your main social that people should listen to?
At J9 Homie Makeup across all socials.
Yeah.
I'm gonna post this too. I'll
condense it, put it on YouTube for those of you that weren't able to watch or want to rewatch it, and I'll make like a little snippet of us announcing that we're going to be part of Pride, and I'll put that together as well and send that out to you all. And I hope to see you all there and give you all the love. And
I feel like we didn't even get around to talking about things. Maybe we'll just be posting it. But you'll follow Janine, and she has all of her stuff on her socials. Follow her. And follow me at the Dinis F across all platforms, Twitter, X, TikTok, and Instagram. We'll make announcements like maybe we'll work for Samsung again. We did 2 commercials for them.
We did. There's so many possibilities.
So many possibilities. Now that it's gone and we're done.
Yeah.
But I want to say, Janine, thank you very much for hanging out with me. I like hanging out with you. I like working with you. I like everything that we do. I feel like
everyone says it. We have a great chemistry.
We
It's
got
so
a good
natural.
vibe.
Like
Yeah, agreed.
I know we will be in each other's lives for a very long time.
Absolutely. I totally agree. All right.
And I'll speak to you very soon. And
Yes.
everyone, happy Pride. We'll see you there.
Okay. Take us
Bye,
out,
Janine.
Dinis, with
Bye, everyone.
host.
Thank you, BBCAN 12. Thank you, everyone, for being in the room.
Thanks everyone for joining.